Hey everybody, my name is Aya. Welcome to my channel, A Very Good Life. We have been going through a series of astrological aspects, learning how to utilize your astrology chart for success. And what I mean by success is figuring out where the doors are open for you this lifetime, figuring out where the doors are closed. The first aspect or planet that we looked at and all of its signs and houses last month was Neptune. Neptune is about being in a fog. Why are you in a fog? Because you think you're perfect, or you feel your oneness with God in a certain way, in a certain area of your life. Meaning, say for instance, you have Neptune energy connected to Gemini in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That could be any combinations, okay? So just if you have that aspect, if you wonder, well, does that mean Mercury in the 12th house? Yes. All right. So you know that you have a beautiful voice, or you have a beautiful mind, and you know how to orate, and you have a vision, and you have poetry, and you have psychic dreams, and you try to express these things to people, and it comes to a screeching halt for you. It doesn't quite work out the way you planned or the way you vision heaven, because Neptune is your connection to God, like your connection to your personal line, to your creative energy and oneness with the creator. And it also connects you to the collective consciousness. You know what people need to hear. It's the psychic energy. It's the most natural energy in your chart. Not necessarily down to earth natural, but natural as far as your spiritual abilities. Everybody has them. Some people have more gifts that are developed than others for certain reasons and purposes, but everyone has a connection to the divine, okay? And so your downfall in that area would be people being abusive towards something that's so beautiful inside of you, and you learning how to forgive that, cope with it, and understand that just because you feel something, think something, see something, perceive something, doesn't mean that people are going to receive it, have to receive it, or it may. I have too much incense going at the same time. Choke myself out. I'm trying to talk and I'm like, yeah. So you learn through that downfall. It's a loss of innocence, really, that it's not always the right time. You might see something before someone's ready to hear it. So, and also, it may never be the right time. It may never be any of your business. You know, you might just have a gift of being a seer. And you have to learn that you wait till someone asks you. So you go through all types of losses of innocence. You're like, well, I was trying to help, you know, and someone might perceive it that you're trying to hurt them, you know, or you might try to warn someone about something, and someone might take it as gossip. That's very Gemini energy. Okay, so then you like this. So then you might go through a period where you're like, well, then I'm just not going to talk. I'm not going to say nothing. You know, you try to withhold it, and then your guides one day go, not, hello, what about this gift you have? Why aren't you using it, ma'am? Why aren't you using it, sir? And you go, well, when I tried to use it, nobody wanted to listen. And so, you know what I'm saying? It goes through its different phases and the storyline, like the drama of your life, days of our lives, or whatever. That's Neptune type energy, and where you find your peace in that area. Like I said before, it's like you learn to love humanity for the way they are, and you work with it, work around it. You allow yourself to be forgiven as well, and you move up the ladder of ascension. Now, talking about the North and South Node, or Rahu and Ketu, let's get into it. So I made you an oracle deck. I'll show you right quick, and then I'm not going to do like I did the last time because I printed it out so that I don't have to read it on screen. But I will show you in a minute. All right. So yeah, this is the oracle deck that you can print out for free for the next couple of days. This is the back. Okay, so you would print this out in landscape. This is 8 pages altogether. So you would print out the first 7 pages, and then you would print out this page 7 times, and you will flip these pages over. They're not very ornate cards because they're very wordy. There's lots of words on these. So anyway, this is for your oracle pleasure. You can get some heavy card stock from Amazon. My card stock is coming tomorrow. I actually have a Cricut now, and I'm going to be attempting to cut out some of my oracle cards and stuff with my Cricut, and I will post that on my Instagram, and also I will just post a picture in the community tab. So stay tuned for that. I think I might have to buy some new printer ink now as well. Just finding that out. So I might get my cardstock tomorrow, but I might not be able to print until the next day, but we'll see. Anyway, going back to here. Start video, stop share. Okay, we're back. So the north and the south node are always 180 degrees apart from one another. They're not actual planets. They're nodes of the moon, okay, that are based off of angles calculated by the eclipses, okay? Have you heard of eclipse season? The mythological story of Rahu and Ketu goes like this. Rahu is a serpent snake, like a demon snake that became immortal by unethical means. During the churning of the Milky Ocean that Lakshmi came out of, the demons and the gods and goddesses were churning the ocean, which is a symbol of spiritual penitence, of meditation. You know, you got to do the work if you want the gifts. Out of this ocean came lots of gifts of gems and fruits, trees, and also the drink soma, the drink of the elixir of eternal life. And the demons, well, okay, so Vishnu, or is it Shiva? It's Vishnu. Vishnu was passing out the gifts to everyone, and the demons was like, well, we want some of that elixir too, because we did part of the work. And so Vishnu turned himself into a beautiful woman named Morina, actually, in order to trick the demons. While Rahu, he snatched that cup of soma and went to drink it, a drop got in his mouth, and Marina cut him in half, and that's how Rahu and Ketu was created. So the top part of Rahu is the immortal part. But in Vedic astrology, Rahu was looked at as cunning and obsessive and restless and impulsive and a bit of kind of miserable. And we'll talk about why. And Ketu is overly comfortable, strong, passionate, independent, and spiritually connected. Also, Ketu has to do with addictions and heaviness as well. But I kind of, with these cards, I go into more detail about the north and the south nodes too. Hold on. I didn't print these out good. You see, I printed out the front well, but I didn't make it a landscape on the back, or else I would be able to cut these out. This is just regular printer paper, but I wanted to test it before my paper got here. So I'm glad I didn't waste like my cardstock paper, because you hate to waste supplies like that. So yeah, the North Node is about getting out of your comfort zone, gaining the character to become a better version of yourself. Rahu is blindly ambitious. So when I'm saying Rahu and North Node, it's the same thing. Some of you only study Vedic astrology. Some of you study Western astrology. Some of you study 13 sign astrology. Some of you study all types of different things. So there you have it. The North Node feels like a mission impossible. North Node desires success, money, and beauty. The North Node is your life mission activated, and the North Node is the completion of a mission, but also dissatisfaction. The South Nodes are your natural talents and gifts. The South Node is attachment to the past. The South Node is your comfort zone, mourning the loss of past success, heaviness, addictions, and entitlement. The use of gifts, South Node, along with the North Node. So yeah, you're supposed to combine your South Node and your North Node together in order to find success. Now let's look at the North and the South poles. So the first node we're going to start off with is Aries. So Aries is about learning to harness anger, to cleanse and create boundaries, to be independent, may have to spend time alone to find a true self, learning how to respect the self and others by communicating boundaries, get a drink. This is going to be a long video. Most of you guys are just looking for your own axes or whatever. So, but if you're here for the long haul, get you a drink. I just have some water. May have to spend time alone to find true self, learning how to respect the self and others by communicating boundaries. Getting physically strong will help you feel your own power and independence. So this North Node is definitely about you finding your power. Now, when I read these energies, I actually I imagine the lifestyle of someone. So this is like, I see someone crying and kind of like feeling weak, like they can't do anything without others, without like a best friend, a boyfriend, needing validation, feeling like I can't do it, like needing a lot of encouragement to move forward, almost like you have a lot of gifts and a lot of talents, and you're braver and you're stronger than you actually think you are. You just have to, like the North Node, you have to use it. You have to actually take that leap. It feels like a baby bird jumping out of the nest. You have to just trust and like fly. And then you will find that you have your wings. And the more you practice, the better you would get. So getting into some type of like martial arts or, learning how to use and resource your fight energy, because your South Node is in Libra. Let's read that. And I can't find my glasses because these words are small, man. I remember the last time I saw them things too. You are so nice, welcoming, and everybody likes you until you start expressing your boundaries and showing your teeth. People may know you are fun, loving, understanding, and a good listener, but they don't know who you are. So you might mix up being a nice person with who you are, okay? It's like, I'm tell me about yourself. Well, I'm nice. I'm a good listener. Who are you though? That is what you do in relationship with other people, all right? Those aren't bad qualities. Keep those qualities. Eventually, you will have to learn to override your fear mechanism of being alone and learn to do some things without your boyfriend, bestie, or group of friends. That would be in whatever area this axis is in. Get to know your talents, allow your friends and lover to be there for you, admit that you have dreams and aspirations, learn to set boundaries before you get mad and your relationships become toxic. So here, This will be the person that says whatever you like that lady in Coming to America, whatever you like. And then one day it's like all of a sudden you get an attitude and get mad because nobody listens to you and you feel like nobody cares about you and nobody's thinking is thoughtful towards you the way you're thoughtful towards them. And it's true, they're not. And it's really to trigger you to get to that point of frustration to where you go into your North Node of being like, so I'm frustrated, I'm going home. I don't have to take this, I'm going home. Good, go home, and you're going to go look at the walls and cry because you don't know what to do with yourself. That's the problem. Like, you got to have a good balance. You got to have a balance between doing you and doing stuff with others, for others, thinking about other people. Putting yourself first is foreign to you, but it needs to become a habit. And in order to make that a habit, there will be a crisis. The crisis in this axis for you is actually like being by yourself for a little while. You might feel, ooh, I'm pressing on my keyboard. You might actually like be like, am I going to be alone for the rest of my life? Like, that's your fear, that if you aren't codependent, then if you don't live your life for other people, then you're afraid that nobody's going to be there for you. But then the thing is that people really, they aren't there for you. And so in order for people to be there for you, you have to learn how to be there for yourself. It's a catch-22. Let's move on to the North Node in Taurus. Learning to live a life that is valuable and not feeling, and anybody that wants to timestamp all of this, you can, because there's going to be some people that's going to be like, timestamps, hello. I just don't have time to do that right now. I don't. So I understand that you might want them, but I'm not doing it. I appreciate whoever wants to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Don't do it if you don't want to, honey. Learning to live a life that is valuable and not feeling guilty for being a human being. You don't have to become a martyr in order to prove you're spiritual. Enjoying the fruits of your labor and gratitude is enough. You are enough. Blending the passion of physical life with spirituality. Being okay with peace. Leaving behind the toxic, dramatic romance novel relationships. Now, this axis is a lot. Taurus and Scorpio axis is a lot. Taurus and Scorpio are the most compatible opposites in the zodiac because they both have the same goal, intent in mind, and that is of gaining resources. You just go about it in different ways. And Scorpio thinks that its way is better. That Taurus energy makes that Scorpio energy feel shame. It's like you want to be above the material when you have a South Node in Scorpio. So you might make yourself a martyr and be like, well, I don't need anything. I do this for the people. I do this. I sacrifice my needs for other people's needs. That is not what you're supposed to do. You could actually end up dying. This is like a life or death situation. Pluto energy is very much existential energy, getting down to the bones of what sustains life, really. Scorpio energy is a sustainer of life. It's sexual energy. Everything is sexual energy. Everything is creative energy. The energy that creates everything is sexual energy. There's nothing that isn't sexual in life. All right. So that's another subject. I'm not going to go there right now because I have a lot to cover. Let's read the South Node in Scorpio. You are full of wisdom, psychic, a high priest, high priestess, and etc. Good. Now that we have got that out of the way, you are also the worst. Okay. You are the best of a human being, but also the worst. And everyone walks on eggshells around you. You need a lot of help this lifetime because your family didn't do a great job to make sure that you had what you needed in order to become, make it as a person in this world. Yet you have high standards to make something of yourself. You don't know what you don't know that you have to start at the very bottom and work your way to the top instead of demanding respect up front and not having the work ethic to back it up. You may be a sex worker or may be considered ratchet, but you really want to be a classy person who is highly respected in society. This is all to make up for the abuse you experienced or lack of respect you got from your family growing up. You tend to hang out with people who are weaker than you, which drags you down, but you don't like being pruned by people who are doing better than you because it hurts your pride. Something will have to give, okay? So in this realm of existence, you come from past life where you were a part of some type of cult, right? Or some type of high priesthood or some type of, it could be the underworld type of stuff, you know, to where you're used to doing dirt and then covering it up and making it look like presentable to others. This could be like drug lords or mob, I'm talking that type of world. This lifetime, you ain't really able to get away with it. You might end up in jail, you know, or you could turn this energy around and become like a preacher, or, you know, they say pimps make the best preachers type of energy here. It's like that in this axis right here. So where you use your charisma, magnetism, and power to draw in people into God instead of drawing people into you so that you can use them and manipulate them. Now, there is a temptation here to relive what's most comfortable for you, which is manipulating people. You can spot out people's weaknesses like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So to get over that and to not be a player, but to be an angel, you know, be fair, be righteous, and learn how to enjoy being a regular human in a body, enjoying being in a body without abusing yourself, taking care of your body, eating healthy, you know, not overworking, but working enough, taking care of your needs, taking care of your mental health, keeping things more simple. That would be your challenge. Well, did I talk about the past life of somebody in the South Node with Libra? Well, that's somebody who is used to, maybe you spend lots of lifetimes like being married, right? And like a Stepford wife, and you were a happy Stepford wife, you know? But this lifetime, no, you're not supposed to be that. Okay. North Node in Gemini. I said, no, you're not supposed to be that. You are Gulliver's Travels reincarnated. You will find that you know some of everyone and everyone knows you. You may find that you are most useful in your hometown, in the hometown you grew up, helping the children in the community as a teacher. If you travel, staying in one area for long periods of time as a writer, you will learn that everyone has a story and you don't have to travel far to have an adventure. You can have an adventure just listening to people, interviewing people. This reminds me of like the journalist who's in your hometown who finds the everyday hero, you know, the people who rescue cats in a neighborhood or the child stars in a neighborhood, and you find that you shine a light on the people. That's what this energy reminds me of. But you're coming from a South Node where your family could be religious or involved in the community as teachers of some sort, if it isn't preaching, depending on the placement of the house. That's what I mean when I say that. You may have grown up as an army brat longing to settle down somewhere. The world is your teacher and you are a teacher from birth. Taking your world view and turning it into an expression that the everyday person can understand and digest would satisfy this North Node. You may never really find rest with this placement because Gemini is very restless, always thinking, shoot, 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 pew, 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 always busy, you know, meeting new people. In the South Node, your South Node in Sagittarius, it has a wanderlust, you know, but your North Node is telling you not to go too far, but to use your wisdom, philosophy, and understanding. You're needed right where you are. Now, I've talked to people with South Node and Sagittarius, and a lot of times they'd be like, oh man, I knew I had to stay here. I don't want to stay here. But it's not that you can't travel. It's not a no, don't travel, but your people need you where you're at. You will find success where you're at. See, all right, so let's get into it because some things have popped into my head. I'm just going to take a little bit of pause before I move on to Cancer energy. All right, so this thing about success, you know, so you have your idea of success, and then when you read your chart, you find that like something like this, like your North Node is telling you to, you know, that you will find success teaching in your hometown or something like that. And your South Node gives you this feeling like you want to travel the world and get as far away from home as possible. And so what I learned by, because I've never just sat down with these energies like all together before. I usually do one-on-one readings with people, you know, and so sitting down with all of these energies, I learned something. I learned something that with these North Nodes, in order to find the success that it's talking about, you have to go like all the way in, like balls to the wall. If you're going to be a teacher or a writer and be like the journalist in your hometown, or you're going to turn that underworld energy into being like Martin Luther King has North Node in Taurus. I have a dream speech, you know, and he ended up martyring himself because of, you know, y'all got to read like what actually was going. There's some underworld stuff going on in there in his life, but anyway, that's controversial to say. Yeah, but he went all the way in though. He went all the way in. North Node. Now most people don't go all in, so most people don't get the fulfillment out of their North Node. And then you end up in this like gray area where you're like, oh, I'm bored. I hate my life. I just wake up in the morning and I just do the same things over and over again. So when people come to me lethargic and inert like that, no movement, it's like, oh, you're not going after your dreams. Because if you were, you would be challenged. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because if you were, you wouldn't be bored. Okay? Your North Node takes you out of your comfort zone, wakes you up, makes you alert, has you crying like, I can't do this, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'll push you out on stage, boo, go ahead and sing. Do your thing, baby. And so like the North Node in Aries, you have to go balls to the wall with your martial arts, your haya, kaya, kaka. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to like really getting into your independence and finding your strength and like, you know, becoming that soldier for yourself. Then you take that South Node energy and it makes you a well-rounded human being. And so after you get into that North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius people, you will, I keep on grabbing on this because it's too big, but it was the only one they had left in the store and it was on clearance. So yeah, you might feel like, man, I'm not allowed to move. You are allowed to move, but you need to fulfill this energy. And then you can like maybe write your book, teach, and then travel. You'll find other ways. You won't need, once you find fulfillment in your North Node, your South Node won't be such an obsession to you. You'll go, I get it. But this is very much experiential. You have to experience it. You can't sit and think about it for your whole life. That's not fulfilling. Let's go to the North Node in Cancer. For some reason, my neck hurts. I think I slept wrong. My pillows, lately I've been moving. North Node in Cancer, learning that nurturing and nourishing are a must if you are going to last. You can't get anything done unless you take care of yourself. You are used to taking care of business only. Life with no love, what is that? Opening up to loving life. You are not too good to be loved or to feel your needs. You may have to stick out your neck for creativity, love, or ask to get your needs met. You may be a weirdo psychic healer. Learn to deal with failure like the rest of us. This is the South Node in Cappy. You are a boss. You came into a lifetime where you are taken seriously as a business person and famous for whatever you are good at. There is one problem. You lack emotional intelligence and were born in a family that lacks emotional support. This could possibly be a narcissistic family system. Instead of focusing on your success, you end up having to focus on emotional trauma, i.e. that North Node in Cancer. Where was I? There's lots of words here. Okay, that leads to you focusing on healing and learning the value of nourishing and nurturing. You may be too cold, ruthless, and calculated, untrusting, cunning, and opportunist. Because you are constantly trying to get back to where you are most comfortable, being famous and in charge. You will go through things that lead you to ask for help and receive nurturing and support. You will experience perceived failures that make you rely on others, learning to build relationships. These situation, typo, I missed it. These situations will be humiliating for you, but they will also be the best thing for you. Try to learn to receive and give support. That is my personal North Node, South Node axes. It's tough. It's a tough thing to learn how to give yourself the support that you never got, and to also accept that support from strangers. I hate it sometimes. I used to hate it more than I do now. Like I understand what this is all about for me. For me, I feel the pull. It's like I don't want to show up in the world like I don't know what I'm doing or who I am or what my purpose is. I absolutely know. But, you know, when you don't have emotional support, you end up having to, you have to organize your inside first, because everything that you manifest, it starts off from the inside out. So if your insides are messed up, then your manifestations are going to not quite connect. So the one thing I hate the most, speaking of this axis, is not being able to keep myself together so that I can keep everything together. I feel like I'm used to that, you know? And if I can't, I feel like I'm used to being able to just throw some money at the problem, you know? But this lifetime, that was kind of like chopped off and taken away from me at a young age. I'll give you an example. I was like born with my own lemonade stand. Like I came out the womb having my own businesses. I always had money in my drawer because I was always hustling. I've talked about this stuff before. Like I was on a radio by the time I was like 12 years old because I was fearless when it comes to like my passions and stuff. And like everybody, anywhere I went, everybody knew me and like what I do. Like I was like a little businesswoman. Like, you know how you see the kids now on YouTube. I would have been one of those kids hustling. But I have a narcissistic mama. So when you have North Node in Cancer, you didn't get the emotional support that you needed. And so that's how I had to learn about the emotional body, intimacy, because I honestly was missing that chip. I was really missing that chip. And I am more fulfilled in my life because of that loss. I'm going to be honest. I do feel warm. I allow the warm and fuzzies. I do more. And I don't reject the support I get. I know that when people purchase things from me, sometimes it's not because I'm a powerhouse business or whatever. It's because they're supporting me, you know? And I've had people tell me that, like before I started doing this, I had like a little soap company where I make cupcake soaps and whipped soaps and cake soaps. And that was before the big, like everybody's like on Etsy and stuff now, you know? And I would do festivals and what are those things called? Like I don't know, all types of and stuff in warehouses, fashion shows, wherever people would call me to do. And people be like, I'm buying this because I like you. I like your energy, you know? That's very warm and fuzzy business for me. That's very warm and fuzzy business. Also just, okay, so in this line, beware. If you try to have your same success that you had in past lives, you will face failure and you will end up falling flat on your face and needing to ask people for help and eating crow. That's this line right here. As soon as you start making it all about business, type of like you get into your ego bag or whatever, and it's all about business, money, survival, material things, Gucci this, Gucci that, having a big house, then you will lose it all. And you will end up having to learn again how to accept love, support, and nurturing. So let you know, North Node and Leo, you are to learn that you are on an individual. You are to learn that you are an individual with heart. It's okay to stand out from the crowd. You have something to say within the confines of your soul tribe and beyond. You may be called to be the spokesperson for the group, a leader instead of hiding within the mind of groupthink. So the South Node is Aquarius, born into a communal situation. The South Nodes are such little words. Born into a communal situation, love wasn't personal. It was a part of a thought, a way of life. Individuality wasn't acknowledged. It might have been shunned, moving from place to place, feeling orphaned. This usually, I'll put my paper on my incense rock. I'm like burning this incense on this. This is a rock that I got from a temple in Peru, in Cusco. I burnt my paper. Doing too much. All right. Okay. This usually means that your social life was more important than your intimate life with your family, or the two were in mesh. Your family relationships were more like friendships. You couldn't rely upon your own family for intimacy. You don't agree with the culture of your family system. You may become well known for standing up for the rights of others, the environment, or animals, because you can relate to feeling disenfranchised. You were made to feel that your personal shine wasn't important. You will spend your life trying to find your true shine and fighting against it. You may be a circus performer, blending your natural affinity towards the quirky, your need for family, and your North Node's desire to accomplish the highest ideal of performance art. This also could be an energy of being involved in inappropriate occult activities, which you will learn to break free and find your true voice and personal expression. So what I imagine here, say for instance, someone who is part of like a polygamous colony that maybe has inappropriate religious rights or something like that, right? This is very much so group think, maybe to the extreme. It could be kind of, sort of, or it can be extreme like that. I've seen it when I've read people's charts, okay? The unthinkable, that most people, because Aquarius energy is like that weirdo energy that you'd be like, where did you learn how to tie yourself in a box like that? You're a circus freak type energy. You have a third eye literally on your forehead type energy, okay? That people don't come across that often. And when they do, it's like, so yeah, these people feel like shunned, or like they have a third arm, you know, or webbed feet or something like that. They don't really feel like a part of regular society. They may live on the fringes. And these people could possibly have gone through hell in their childhood that normal people wouldn't be able to relate to. So they need to be around other freaks as well, circus act freaks or what, I don't know. You know, and I've heard stories like that. That's why I use that as an example of an Aquarius type person finding their soul tribe amongst the circus, who live in a forest, who travel from town to town, you know. And so you come out of this weird occult family system. You don't agree with it. You're woke, your eyes are open. You become a performer. All eyes are on you as an individual. You probably feel some type of responsibility to go back and save or help people who are like you. Reminds me of Tiffany Haddish. I don't know if this is her North or South Node axis. It just reminds me of her. How she, as soon as she became world renowned, she shone a light on the foster care system because she was a foster care kid, you know. And so you will use your shine. You at first you'll be like, I don't necessarily deserve to shine. Will shun the vanity of it. But first of all, you are made in the image of Yahweh, the creator. We are all made in the image of the creator. I say that all the time when I think about people that I'm mad at and I want to take revenge on, or I'm having a hard time forgiving. I think about how all energy, all people are made in the same image of the creator that I'm made in, and it just wipes everything clean for me. And when I look out at the world and I look at everyone shining their light, I'm like, this is what God wants. We're all like little pieces of God on earth, right? And God wants to shine. God wants to gleam and express himself, herself, itself through every living thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, so this whole, yes, there is a such thing as modesty. God is in modesty too, in every aspect of what it means to be human or alive or in existence. It's within all forms of experiences. So how you shine on, honey. And you know, you have to take on that perspective, because if you go, well, I'm unworthy because, you know, if how come I get to shine and these people over here are suffering? Well, then use your south node and your north node together. Use your shine, because unless you go balls, unless you go all the way into your north node and maybe get that acting coach or that singing, dancing, becoming an escapade and in the lights or whatever, basking in it's like pose or whatever, then you will never be able to really reach back in the first place to help anyone. If you stay in that situation, if you stay in the same mentality and your consciousness never transforms, then you ain't gonna be able to do nothing anyway. You ain't gonna have the resources to do it. Leo gets lots of resources because, you know, when you put yourself out there, then people know you exist. When you stand out from the crowd and you say, hey, I'm here, I need red shiny boots, somebody will get you those boots. You know what I'm saying? But if you stay in the background like a wallflower, I don't need, then you ain't gonna never get the boots you need, baby. Get your boots. Put on a show and go back and get the kids. All right. North Node and Virgo. I'm done. You may have to do the unthinkable, be discriminating, because this is your South Node in Pisces. You get it? The Pisces is not discriminating at all. You may have to let go of being a free spirit for a little while to organize and clean your home. Get it together. You could have psychological issues that lead to physical symptoms that have to do with your nervous system. Cleaning makes you itch. You may have to learn to be exacting like a surgeon, slice. Using your universal compassion to stand up for the underdog in an earthly way, creating in what organization, foundation, INC, LLC, Biz-nie, what's your business? Mind yours. So let me read the South Node in Pisces. I got water splashes all over these papers. I'm a mess. This is the wise sage. Your lifestyle as a child was crazy making. Loopity-loo. No one was psychologically fit to care for you. You used escapisms in order to cope with your reality. You definitely have a lot to tell when you finally decide to sit down with a psychologist. Maybe you were a sage or a wise man or wise woman in past lives, but you have to put yourself in a position to take more responsibility for life than what you are prepared for. Then you are prepared for you. Typo, I missed it. The practicalities of your North Node will take up all of your focus and time. To learn to be a normal person, stop ending up homeless. It's a spiritual practice for you. People may not allow you to get away with not getting your stuff together. And you will find yourself frustrated because you believe everyone wants you to be perfect. You are able to love and accept everyone for who they are, but it seems that you don't get the same love in return. This leaves you feeling sad. You will have to learn taking care of practicalities is love as much as emotional love. Okay. I know when I'm in my zone, when I'm making these videos, because my nose starts itching like the Dickens, like bewitched, seriously. So this is a good video. I'm preaching to somebody. I'm saying something that people need to hear. That's what that signals to me. It's happened ever since I started making these videos a few years ago. I'll be like, itch, itch, itch. Okay, it don't, and my nose don't itch no other time, child. All right, whew, this axis is tough. All of these axes are pretty tough, except for like the Gemini and Sagittarius. You guys have it kind of, honestly. I know you have your challenges, but there are easier aspects than others, and y'all's is kind of the easiest ones that I see here. It's not life or death for you. You just have to write a book. Okay, you have to talk, speak, love it. Everybody has to have something easy in their chart. All right. Yeah, I'm saying this is tough because so you grow up and you're not raised. You like raised like a pack of wolves. That movie Nail comes to mind. Have you guys seen that? That's a great movie with Jodie. Is that Jodie Foster? Is that her name? That white lady that looks like a lesbian, who was a child actor. Nell, Nell, look it up. So yeah, she was like raised in the forest, and she doesn't speak English. She speaks like she's just like one with the river, skies, trees, and nature. People will consider her homeless, like people in modern society will consider her primitive, but she's fine. You know, she knows how to work. She knows how to read her environment just fine. You know, we all can use a little nail in our life. Okay. And she teaches the people around her to be one with God, one within themselves, one with nature. And she actually creates a community that is surrounded by her particular way of being, but not without challenge and people's caging her up like she's an animal and all this other drama. There's a little bit of drama like that here, to where you might be used to being homeless like from a young age because like your parents might be on drugs, or they're just not capable of taking care of you. You being pushed around and everybody's just kind of like effed up in your family. But you have this universal principle of love, but you don't got no like life skills, like city skills. And you don't want them. That's the problem here. You're like the man, you know, the man is out to get me. You know, you want to eradicate the whole system. That's that South Node in Pisces, where you want everything to go back to its most natural state, and you don't want the system involved in your life. But for some reason, something happens, you get involved with the system some way, somehow, and you find the imperfections in it, and you find that the ways where it's not really helpful to the people, and but you need it. Oh, I can feel that frustration, to where you want to break free, but see, your foundation isn't on solid ground, and so you might need it to assist you while you organize yourself and build yourself up. But in the meantime, you'll want to stand up and fight for the everyday person. That's that Virgo energy. You'll want to try to teach people that love is what's most important. Health is what's most important. Being natural is what's most important. But the issue is that you have to do it in an organized way, or else people aren't going to take you seriously. If you're like a beggar, like feeling entitled to handouts and people helping you and stuff like that, then people aren't going to take you seriously, and they're going to send you to the nearest welfare office to go get, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like that mumbling homeless person on a corner who you know, you're like, oh, okay. That most people don't see you as the earth angel you are. You actually are earth angel. You have to validate that energy for yourself. And how you would do that is you have to kind of live like a nun or a monk. A lot of these energies, in order to climb your way, find your way to that north node, there's a period of time to where you know, in those like martial arts movies, one of my favorite martial arts movies is Ong Bak. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's been a while since I watched it. You know how you have what you're comfortable with, but then you need to bump it up a level to defeat the Koopa Troopa. And so you train kaya, ka, ya, ta. You're like punching glass and eating air and all this. I don't know. And you train, but there's nobody around you. Maybe you have one teacher, your sensei, you know. And then you arise and you come up out the ashes and you're like, you're telling the wind what to do. You're not biting the air anymore. And so that's what, like, this energy reminds me of that here. So you go away, you disappear, you know, you get yourself together, and then you come out with your own business, a foundation. You're like, put the donations over here, sit your ass down over there. How may I help you today over here? Sign up if you want to volunteer, that type of energy. It's giving very much that. If you can come up from like nobody helping you, it's like you have people helping you. The thing about like the chasm between the north and the south node is there's this big gap of dissatisfaction. So you'll feel like nothing is good enough, no matter what placement it's in. It's like, if you can attain the same amount of success that you had in past lives, then your north node is going to feel like, I don't want this shit. I wish I could go back to the way things were, you know. But that's why you have to go all the way in. You have to live out your north node to the full out extent, or if you ain't gonna get it, you can't just like, nah. No, you have to like, where's some more water? Like, you have to explore every facet. You have to live it. It has to be your lifestyle. Okay. Where's my other papers? Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. And I printed out 2 of the same thing. Yay, me. I'll be back in a second. Hold on. No, it's not the same. It just looked the same. North Node and Libra. All right. So those of you who are still here, I give out free samples of incense that I make to people that join my, who come to the no contact group. Not to bribe you, but because it's really for me, because I want to sell these things, but I'm not going to sell anything that I have not, especially stuff that people can't test. Like, you're buying incense online that you've never smelled before. So I need proof that it actually is giving what it's supposed to be gave. And I'm having fun doing that. And I actually have some, well, for the 3 I made so far, one of them is really popping. And the descriptions that people have given me of how it makes them feel, what has made them experience, gave me the idea for the name that I'm going to make I love the name that I made it. I made the labels. It's very inspiring for me to share that with you. And also when I send out my sun pillow pillow form, what are they called? Pillow covers. I also give out free incense as well to try. So just to let you know. But yeah, it's powder and it self ignites. And what is this one? I don't have my ingredients list with me right now. My notebook with my ingredients. But this is one of the first ones I made. I don't think I've been giving this out. I haven't. It's called Moving Forward. So yeah, you're right. So the North Node is in Libra right now. Learning to communicate in a non-violent way, letting go of throwing tantrums, getting rid of being bullied or being a bully, sharing what you have to offer, and being a good listening ear without feeling like you are going out of your way, slowing down to smell the roses, buy some roses for a romantic evening, going to a psychologist to learn to be a better person for people you love. South Node in Aries. Born into a family that may be violent, which creates rage, immaturity, selfishness due to not learning any interpersonal skills, overly independent, may have to run away from home in order to get away from emotional, harsh environment. Relationships where people tell you that you are immature, too selfish, maybe even be narcissistic. If you learn your lesson, people will find that you are just a scared child that needs love. You could be great at martial arts and sports. You are a formidable opponent, brave, strong, and independent. You will not stay down for long. So this axis, you actually have the determination to really go into your North Node. You're brave. You have the bravery that maybe some of the other South Nodes may not have, like that South Node in Pisces may be overly sensitive and not be brave. That's like that Pisces, and then going into the North Node in Virgo to where you're also private, you know. But that Pisces energy puts you on Front Street in front of everybody. Anyway, so yeah, you have the power behind your transformation that you need, but this is a challenging. It's incense. Don't smell bad. I just I added some activated charcoal to it. I think that's making it extra smoky. All right. All right. So yeah, this is one of the first ones I made. I don't even really use it. I'm trying to use up the things I make so I don't waste it. But this isn't one of my favorite ones. That's why I don't. But it's not bad. It's just not like as refined as the newer ones. All right, learning to communicate in a nonviolent way. So yeah, this axis is about you having anger management issues. You learning that you can't like throw a tantrum and take your anger out on people. You have to learn how to manage your anger in a healthy way, or else you'll end up sabotaging like all of your relationships. Nobody is going to want to hang out with you or be around you. You'll be considered an abusive person, but maybe you've been abused yourself. And so you'll have to learn to be vulnerable and like use your words. And you might be selfish in the fact that, you know, you are allowed to be angry and mouthy and go off, but you don't allow other people that same space You know, you have to learn how to do that. Now, some of, like with these placements where I'm talking about you like this, you will probably disagree. Most of you will probably disagree. Oh, I am a good listener. I don't do that no more. You know, but that's what this is saying. I'm sorry. This, like, Aries energy is the baby of the zodiac. It's like the most immature energy in the zodiac. You can't really get away from it. So unless you stay away from people altogether, so that you're like, I don't want to turn into the Hulk. Don't make me do it. Don't make me mad. Oh. Fun. But yeah, that's the simplicity of that. Easier said than done, I know. There's a lot of sexual energy here too, where you get into relationships fast, passionate, and then this is how you end up knowing that you need to go to anger management, because that Libra energy is like unavoidable. People are unavoidable. You want to have sex, right? Because Aries wants to have sex. In order to be a leader, you need people to lead, right? Somebody has to be submissive. So you can't really like not interact with people. So you have to learn how to do that. North Node in Scorpio. Make sure I'm actually recording. It's one of those days, it seems like, where I'm absent-minded professor. Okay, I'm recording. North Node in Scorpio. Break open that stubborn rock and let your emotions in. Allow the rivers and valleys of transformation to take over. Give into the hurt and pain and let your passions take over spiritually. You may not have the family or foundation that you have always dreamed of, but there is an opportunity for new beginnings. You have to call out to the divine for intervention. Getting into the metaphysical, you may not be able to rely upon what has always worked in the material world. You will learn what is valuable and what can be replaced, starting over. Okay. So yeah, let me read the South Node before I get into it. South Node in Taurus. Your needs may have been neglected in your youth. You may have felt like an orphan, made to feel guilty for needing affection and attention. So you learn to stubbornly survive without the support of others. You may be a hoarder of material things in order to make up the lack of affection and attention. You feel like you need protection. You could also be prone to gain weight and eat for comfort. You will have to allow yourself to grieve and mourn, feel your feelings. You can get through any hardships and catastrophe. So of course, here there's a crisis here with Pluto energy here, and with this Venus energy here, there's a loss of money, comforts, support, affection, connection to the mom. You know, may have been a broken home, not feeling valued. A lot of times when I talk to Taurus types, it's interesting how the Venus, the mom, and love and affection, the connection to the needs, the basic needs, gets broken. Usually the mom chooses another man over her children in these types of situations, which pushes the child out into the world at an early age without their needs being met, which means you have to do like strange things, you know, underbelly type things, because you don't know no better. You end up getting taken advantage of. Your worth goes down. Your self-image and your perception of yourself, you know, takes a hit. And with this Scorpio energy, you will have to heal that. Like you have to go into that crisis inside and have faith and trust that you're going to come out on the other side. You're going to be okay. You know, this could denote actual homelessness for a period of time. But in order to survive, you shut down your emotions, right? You shut down the emotions and you become stubborn. This is a defense mechanism. And you know, when you're in survival mode, you have your comforts and the things that you're used to using because you don't trust anyone. You're like, I trust my liquor, or I trust my food. You know, I trust, you know, hoarding my things. I can't let anyone in because the last time I let someone in, I was abused, I was abandoned, so going into that Scorpio North Node would be actually like being brave and fearless and facing that path and transforming your life and rebuilding and building yourself up from the ground up and becoming an inspiration, like a rags to riches type story. All right, North Node in Sag. Easy peasy. You have no time for gossip. I wrote that. I was thinking about that little meme with that little African boy. He was like, I have no time for gossip. Pish posh. You know, in small talk. You have no time for gossip and small talk. You may be uprooted from the comfortability of sitting on the porch with your aunties and shooting the breeze. Dreaming of one day leaving your small town, you will be called to make a move. You may be a teacher, speaker, speaking, traveler. The word here is expansion, doing it big. You may be a small town hero and don't engage in gossiping. That's South Node in Gemini. South Node in Gemini, talking but not saying anything. Beating a dead horse. You have come into a lifetime when your immediate environment doesn't want to hear your mumbling. That's what it sounds like to them. You may feel uncomfortable expanding outward and onward. They say a prophet won't be believed in his own town, so you have to go to other towns and they will be more receptive to your message. Stop trying to get validation from people who don't want to hear what you have to say. When the rest of the world catches wind of your genius, you can just simply say, I told you so, and knowing you, you probably will. We can look forward to it. All right, so here is the opposite of that Gemini North Node. You actually, it reminds me of like American Idol, you know, that part of American Idol when they would go back to their like small towns and they have a parade for you. And like, they're like, our American Idol. And you get the red carpet treatment. And it's just like you're a big deal. You get to be a big deal. You get to share your big dreams from your small town and give other people hope that if you can get out, they can get out, maybe not, you know what I'm saying? But this is your true path expansion. Okay. North Node and Capricorn. You may be considered spoiled, or maybe you were in past lives. Capricorn energy isn't an easy trek to traverse because you are overly sensitive. Capricorn is about the harsh reality of the world. The real world is too harsh and demanding, and all you want to do is use your mind and emotions to get things done. Everyone will tell you to put your money where your mouth is, which means you have to get your hands dirty. Once you find a balance between your sensitivity and business, there will be no better manager or business owner. South Node in Cancer, you could probably stay at home forever in a codependent mesh with your family, trying to mother and care for everyone, worrying yourself sick about how unhealthy the family system is. You can do this up until you realize no one is taking care of you. Your needs aren't getting met. This realization could leave you feeling helpless. At first, this will be a mourning process. If you don't get up and get, I meant to put get out and do something, your crying could turn into a sob story of a perpetual victim, walking the line of emotional blackmail and manipulation. Crying rivers and getting your way in your intimate relationships are laying on heavy guilt trips. There will come a crisis that will force you out of your emotional crib into the workforce. It may happen early on in life where you have to grow up fast, or it may happen later in life because you wasted too much time trying to get your needs met from your family. It's time to break away. This reminds me of the Chariot in the tarot deck. For those of you who know, the Chariot it's Cancer energy, to where it's a broken down chariot, and he has like people actually pushing him forward. It's like by any means necessary. You got to move. You're going to move forward. You don't have a full chariot to work with, but you're going to work with the energy you got. Okay, this axis makes me sad. So the North nodes is moon energy. So in connection to any watery planets, especially like Cancer, it actually can be kind of crazy making in connection to the North node or to the South node, because especially like North node energy is impulsive and South node energy is obsessive, and there's an obsession here with taking care of other people. And in this family system, there's plenty of brokenness to obsess about. And then you have your own brokenness to consider. So with this type of energy, you could delude yourself into thinking that you're needed, you're the only healthy one, but you're actually sitting here absorbing all of this toxic energy, and you're like you're weakening your energy more and more as you stay. And so even though it will hurt to break away, from the comforts of your home, or even if it's a toxic home, Cancer energy wants to be at home, even if it's a mess, psychologically or physically, financially. Cancer will take their little corner, their little cubby hole, their little cub hole, wrap themselves up in a blanket and just nest there. It's comfort for them. They don't want to go. And so to be forced out of that, it hurts. It's emotional trauma. And then to be told to pull yourself up by the bootstrap type energy, that's what it's giving me. It's like, nobody wants to hear that when they're hurt, when our heart's broken, or they're, they want their mom and their family to be okay. It's like, who has the strength if you don't feel loved and taken care of? So you could go throughout your life looking for finding people to take care of you, emotionally manipulating to survive until you get yourself together enough to actually be able to take care of yourself. But if and when you get to the point to where you get strong and get strength, And say you do start your own company and you nourish yourself up to that point, because you would basically have to nurture and mother yourself, take care of yourself, father yourself too, raise yourself, learn what it means to be a protector and provider. You know how to be domestic, but you're here to learn how to run a business, make business, create business. You have your pulse on human emotions. You would be amazing. You would be on fire as a business owner, because business is about relationships. And you know how to do relationship very well. So that's a killer combination after you heal yourself, take care of yourself. Okay. North Node and Aquarius. I wonder if this is burnt out all the way. I can't tell when it's when the incense is black. I can't tell. I can see the ash on top of it. But like around the edges, it's not used. I'll like burn it once and then I'll pile it on top of each other and then I'll burn it again. North Node in Aquarius. You don't like to go along with the crowd. You would rather be a loner, but you also care about being liked. But you feel like no one likes you for you. It feels like you have to fit in order to be liked, and that's not true. As soon as you find a cause that is bigger than you, you will also find your tribe. Maybe creating a children's program for actors and creativity to teach children that it's okay to be true to who they are. South Node in Leo. You don't believe you are arrogant. You just believe in yourself. That's how you feel. And the rest of the world is giving you the feedback that if you believe you are better than everyone, then maybe you should do just that, be by yourself. It reminds me of that song, Ego by Beyonce, that part where she say, some call it arrogance, I call it confidence, beauty inside when you find I'm what I'm working with. Damn, I know I'm killing you with them legs, but I get them thighs. Matter of fact, it's my smile and I leave my eyes. Boy, you as I can see, kind of something like me. It's too big. It's a really big ego here. So you still have all the very positive traits of the sun, generous, a joy to be around. People like you. Kind of. But it's kind of like the energy here is like a washed up child actor who is trying to get their fame back and who's not satisfied. It's like, you remember that redhead white man that was a child actor and he was just always angry at not being taken seriously, or Vanilla Ice, or those people that it's like, or it reminds me of like Little Richard too. When you fall off, but you want that old thing back type of energy, that energy. But see, this is where you have to go all the way into your North Node and use your star power, your skills. That reminds me of that Pussycat Doll lady, to where she's an amazing dancer and performer, but her energy don't give that she's supposed to be on stage. So she taught everyone else. So she taught some girls around her and created a group, a Supergirl group or whatever. That's what this energy is. North Node groups. You have skills from past lives of, you know how to work the pole, work, work, or you know what I'm saying? You know how, you know how to make the boots, the kinky boots or whatever. You know how to do the makeup. You know how they supposed to have their hair. You can do the choreography. You give me Debbie Allen, you know, get a stage, get you some auditions, get some lights, get some girls, and get to work. You're not sweating enough. You don't want it bad enough. Bang! I want to live forever. That type of energy. You're putting the girls to work. They're coming to your casting call. Or you could, like I said before, with this North Node, you can do a school with being an acting coach for kids, Leo, kids, you know, community center, Aquarius. Simple. See, I solved your problem. All right, North Node and Pisces. This is the spiritual beginner that doesn't know why they are drawn to crystals. They may sneak into a psychic's office. I be looking because the window is right here and people be walking by. This is the spiritual beginner that doesn't know why they are drawn to crystals. They may sneak into a psychic's office and the psychic will tell them that they themselves are psychic. They are thrilled by the spiritual discovery, but have a hard time figuring out how to explain these discoveries to their family. They have to deal with the chasm between being who they really are and who others expect them to be. South Node and Virgos. You are many things, but the first thing you notice about yourself is your anxiety. You are afraid that everything isn't in its right place. Depending on the placement, it could be mentally, physically, or spiritually, or just energetically in general. You were born into an affluent family. You had all of your needs met and everything looks perfect on the outside. All your family asks that you keep their secrets, perfect image intact, and keep every hair in place. But what they may not know about you is that you love nature, you are gentle, and you need a lot of space to think things over for yourself. This lifetime, you will have to learn to relax. Learn that the creator doesn't expect perfection, just experience life. Experience your soul as a physical being. If you don't learn this, your health could suffer. All right, all that too much worry, too much anxiety. Why are you worried? Why are you have anxiety? You know, because you're trying to keep something under wraps. You're trying to hold stuff in. You're holding back your feelings. You're holding in your thoughts. You're trying to serve everyone around you. You know, this is, you know, I really want to serve God type energy, or, you know, or my fellow man. You will learn how that you really love God. You really love being one with nature. And maybe your family system will be like, hippity dippity, that's hippity dippity. So this reminds me of someone who is gay, but they discriminate against gay people or something. You know, this type of energy is like, I'm a jock, but you're not type of energy. It's like Virgo, dark side and Virgo energy is fake, you know, trying to cover up who you really are, what you really like, what you're really into. And that will make you sick in the head. It will make you sick physically. You could have digestive system issues, acid reflux. I can't hold nothing down. I can barely eat. I can't sleep. This coming to get me. Like phobias and stuff like that, OCD. With this South Node and Virgo, watch it. Go to a psychologist. talk it out, talk it over, mull it over, talk it through, let it out, let yourself be free. Even if, you know, with people who, because my main job is trauma healing, you know. With people who have these types of fears, I don't force people out of the closet. And I'm not talking about just gay. There's closets for creativity too. And there's just closets for when you have a fear, you're keeping something in the closet, okay? I'm like, just, it's like, when people come in and see me, it's like, we don't have to tell everybody this. You can just keep it right here. You don't have to tell everybody what you're into, but at least allow yourself the space to have it in your own pride, in the privacy of your own, you know, for your eyes only. Say you're like sneaking crystals, or you like, you know, you have like your oracle decks and you like savor them, and when your mama come over, you put it in there. Fine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but at first, to just kind of like let yourself live a little bit, let yourself have it. Let yourself have it. Little by little, take baby steps. You know, you could feel ashamed that you're not like proud and free, but it's going to take some time. You were taught to be reserved and to, you know, have a certain image and demonize certain things. Maybe it's a family to where they might be racist or something like that. You have to sit around and listen to people, you know, say things about others because of there with the lineage of between Virgo and Pisces. There's a lot of illusions and disillusionment to where what you thought you saw wasn't really what was going on. And when the veil is lifted, it can be really painful to really see people for who they really are. So you might have lived your life trying to be perfect, you know, in a family that wants you to be perfect just so that they can, you know, live off of your energy. They get to tell you, oh, you're not perfect. You're not right. You're the black sheep, you know, but they're the ones actually like doing all the dirt. Once you realize it, you know, you're like, well, I've been trying to be pure. I've been trying to do things by the book, and y'all are heathens. And so this could actually lead you down a dark path of rebellion as well, to where you're like, well, F all of this. You could use this North Node Pisces and go ham with it and use it as escapism into a fantasy world, you know. But you really are supposed to use your Virgo practicality. You know how to do business, honey. You could become like the next J.K. Rowling and create like a fantasy world because you're so used to living in a fantasy world anyway. Why not give the girls a shot? I don't know. Or your family might want you to be, they groomed you to be a doctor. But you learn that after being in the healthcare system for some time that that's not really what's best for humanity. And you have an inside knowledge of what's really going on. Then you also have knowledge of how to change things. So this access, you can really be a servant to humanity, you know, with your knowledge and your exacting precision. You could be a scientist, a doctor, you know. It reminds me of Dr. Drew Pulcrum, who is a Black doctor, a scientist. And when she got cancer, she did not want to use the same medicine that she used with others. to help people heal or whatever. She used natural methods to heal herself with cancer. And so she started her own practice, teaching people the very things that she used to help heal herself. And she has books too. I have a few of her books. So all of this is about purpose and meaning. This is the end of the reading of these axes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But your North Node and South Node is about you finding the meaning in the usefulness and the purpose of beyond your ego. The North Node and the South Node is very could potentially be the downfall if you don't balance these energies out right. Like I was saying that some of these axes are serious, some serious going on. You could kill yourself being egoic, Yes, you do have free will. You can do what you want, but there's a price to pay for doing whatever it is that you want to do. So it's best. So the reason why we're doing these, the intent I have behind doing this series with you is to teach you that how to utilize your chart so that you can live in alignment with the energies. A lot of times the divine don't care what medium you use. Like, there's different options and careers and scenarios how you can use these energies, but do it and go in all the way. I'll use myself as an example because I'm here to be vulnerable. I am here to be vulnerable. The way I share, I'm supposed to do that. That is part of my healing. That is part of me. And am I supposed to share in front of people? I am, actually. With my North Node in the 11th house in Cancer, I'm supposed to be vulnerable in front of people. And that's healing for me. Like I'm supposed to sing and dance and share my process and share how I nurture and love myself and teach other people how to do. I'm supposed to be like an example of love, of self-love, group love for other people. Is that easy on me? No, because I want to have a team like J-Lo and I want to be made up. And I want y'all to buy my tickets and come see me at Madison Square Garden. I don't want to be like belly dancing and shit in my living room in front of my iPad. I don't. That's not my South. My South Node is like, but my North Node really enjoys it. Really enjoys like the love, and sharing. It's more about me sharing than me becoming ruling over anyone or being an egoic boss thing. I know, business tycoon. So I can use my Capricorn energy to build a business behind me sharing, but I have to make sure that it's about me. I have to be sure I'm being vulnerable in the process, because as soon as I try to turn it into something that the divine is saying no to me about, I can end up back living on somebody's mama couch, child. Relearning the lessons that, I need to learn how to be loved and nurtured and supported. And it's like, oh, okay. And so I have to go all in and like all of my love, psychic, mother, creative abilities and stuff like that. My mama earth type of energies. I don't have to lose my individuality in it or anything like that. I can have my spice. You get it. I'm sure you do. But I'm always learning when it comes to my own South and North Node actors on how to live with it, how to work with it, so I get it. Ugh. Oh, the interesting thing about being vulnerable, though, and sharing your weaknesses is that some people lose respect for you because of it. That's the reason why people don't do it. Some people won't see you as an authority figure if you share your weaknesses. You know, some people won't take you seriously, which is why sometimes I don't like it. Because I know that that's what's going on sometimes with energies and stuff like that. I'm like, that doesn't make me less good at what I do. I'm not here to be in a box that other people put me in as a shaman, or what a shaman or a healer is supposed to look like, what a businesswoman is supposed to look like. That reminds me of one of my favorite authors. She's have gone on home, Sabantu Somé. She wrote that book that I recommend to a lot of people, African Intimacy, one of my favorite books. But I listen to her lectures a lot. And she talks about how, as a teacher, a speaker, a writer, and a healer, people always put her in this box of how she's supposed to be, what her strengths are supposed to be, what her weaknesses that she's not allowed to have, the personality type she's supposed to be. And she just wants to be her. I feel like I have that same struggle this lifetime. It's like, I try to, I am supposed to be myself with the people. That's part of my path. That's part of the medicine I have to offer. But often I find that some people look down on that method and they want me to get more fame, more follow. I have a lot of people say, you should have more fame. You should have more followers. You should have more this. You should be this. You should do that. You should, but they don't know my path, and I can't let them dictate that. I'm supposed to have what the divine has for me. And then I will die feeling blessed within my soul, which is more of my goal than, what my South Node had to offer me in the past. Apparently, I have been there and done that already. And it's time for me to grow and learn something new about love, about support. And I'm okay with that. I didn't used to be okay with it because I didn't have the experience with it. But now that I do, and especially after doing this research and looking deeper into these nodes and stuff, it's been a pleasure. So I thank you guys for choosing this, although I was surprised that everyone chose this. As far as like the poll that I made in the community tab, I think like 70 people voted or something. And most of the votes were for how to find success utilizing your astrology chart. I thought that was an interesting choice because success is, looking at all these different nodes, you see how the definitions of success can be different for everyone. And I guess success for people are really looking for their past success most of the time, which is why they have not found it yet in this lifetime. So go all in. I guess the advice from everyone knows that I learned is to go all into your North Node, which is why I will, for me personally, to share with you, to be vulnerable with you, I will be doing more music because that's actually my truth. I will be sharing more of my creativity. That's more of my truth. I've been hiding hoarding, honestly. I have like a folder like full of paintings and canvases and paints, and I have a Cricut over there. So I started opening up a Etsy shop again. You know, I'm going to invite people into more intimacy. That's what I'm here to offer. I realized that more after I started. Right? I'm like, I haven't been going all in, and it's been actually burning me out more. And now that I have surrendered more to it, I feel better. So another point of key here is about surrender. But everyone comes to their point of surrender at their own time in their own way. So I respect your process and whatever it takes and looks like for you, because the struggle is definitely real. And I know that all too well. But I thank you guys for joining me. You can get your free Oracle deck. Don't make the same mistake I did. I made it so that you don't have to. Make sure you turn your printer settings to landscape when you reprint for the back of the paper. And so you print, because I have these types of questions, so excuse me if you don't, but you print on the front side, the printer prints on the front side, and so then you would put the paper back in so that it can print on the back, but do it landscape. And use heavy cardstock. Look it up on Amazon. I could leave a link for the tools that I'm using, but I'm getting them. Well, I'll be up. This video will be showing at 6 p.m. on Monday evening, and so hopefully I'll get my supplies before then, and then I can make a cute little vid for y'all or some pictures of a how-to. And I also, along with it being on my website, I'll put it in my Etsy shop, and I'll have I think I have to post like 10 things before my Etsy shop is up. So I'm getting there though. I'm getting there. And I also have some other surprises as well that I'll be sharing with you guys soon. Bye. Oops. I won't turn that off if I press that.